Good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock and time for the St. John Daily Word. I'm Pastor Ron Genaro. We're back in town and hopefully all of our schedules are working properly now. But we wanted to share with you several announcements and a brief devotional. I want to remind you that Bible study is every Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the sanctuary or on Facebook Live or our YouTube site as well, or our app. We also want to let you know that St. John Faith and Fitness, that's the new name of our exercise group. That is a fitness class that meets every Tuesday and Thursday in the fellowship hall at 11 o'clock. If you have any questions, please contact Paula Penzine, and her number is there. We also want to let everyone know that next week is our Memorial Day potluck, Sunday, May 25th at 10:30 a.m. in the fellowship hall. You could have signed up in the narthex on Sunday. We needed folks to sign up. You can call in and we'll add your name. And I also don't have the slide up here, but we go to one service also on Sunday at 9:30. Oh, there it is. It's the next slide. 9:30 Sunday. Next Sunday is our. We go down to these for the summer. Don't forget your Hawaiian shirt. We're very casual during the summer, starting at Memorial Day, running all the way through September. We also have grief support meeting. They meet every Thursday at 1 o'clock in the education building. And these components are individualized, so you can start at any time and then pick up the remainder the next time we offer it. We also want to remind you that this Sunday we will honor Ruth Florimon, class of 2025. We're going to celebrate her graduation, which will be taking place Saturday. And there will be a cake at the potluck to honor Ruth. There'll be some other desserts too that you will bring. But we're looking forward to celebrating Ruth next Sunday. We also have the app, which is available to you. You can download that, and if you have any trouble, contact the office. We'll put you in touch with Madison or have her call you. Parkway Food Ministry, we're always in need. They're always in need of non-perishables, peanut butter, canned goods, and cereal. You can place those donations in the narthex donation box each and every week. Today we're going to look at Psalm 133. It's only 3 verses, but it's a very powerful psalm. Psalm 133. How very good and pleasant it is when kindred live together in unity. It is like the precious oil on the head running down upon the beard, on the beard of Aaron, running down over the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord ordained his blessing, life forevermore. The psalmist here, and it's an unnamed psalmist, uses this psalm to talk about how wonderful it is when the people of God are united. That theme is still in existence for us today. As we unite as God's people and as we're on the same page, it is good and wonderful when kindred dwell together at peace. But what do? Well, we fight over oftentimes secondary or tertiary issues in the Christian community. What I mean by that is there was an apocryphal story I heard when I was in seminary about a pastor who quit, who resigned, and who left because of a contentious argument over what color to paint a restroom. And that was an apocryphal story. I don't know whether that is true or not, but there are frustrating meetings that we sometimes are in as the church, as we talk about things that are really, really important to us, that may not be important in the grand scheme of things in God's kingdom or in God's church. But the writer here, the psalmist says, it is wonderful when we dwell at peace with each other. And then he says, it's like the oil that was on Aaron's head that ran through and dripped off of his beard. I know that sounds kind of strange, pouring oil, but that was the way one was set apart for service to God. Kings were anointed with oil. The high priest was anointed with oil. And all of that had to do with showing one being set apart. Oil was used in the ancient world for hygiene, but it was also used for healing, and it was used also to set aside someone for service to God's kingdom. And then the comparison continues on. In verse 3, it says, it's like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord ordained his blessing, life forevermore. Sunday when I drove in to church, we had a problem with the irrigation system a few weeks ago, and we had worked on it, and it was cleaned up, and everything was working, and everything is working on it right now. And while Janine and I were away visiting family, it rained. It rained a bunch. What I noticed when I first drove in on our grass parking area was how green everything was. It was lush. It was green. And I just thought, well, the irrigation system's working. We've had rain. Everything is right. It has come back the way it promises to. And that's a good picture for what the dew of Hermon does. As it falls, it is God's blessing upon God's people. So when we are at peace with one another, when we are honoring God, when we are celebrating God's goodness and mercy to us as a people, others will see that and perhaps will desire that. And so we will be God's people together. I want to remind you today that God loves you, this church loves you, and I love you as your pastor. Have a great day, and we will see you on Tuesday for Bible study. We are in the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 3, tomorrow. Bye now.